Today, on Running to Him, we as Christians, prior to making a decision, must listen to all sides of an issue. If you are joining us in going through Proverbs, today's reading is Proverbs 18, verses 11 through 24, and we'll concentrate on verse 17. Proverbs 18:17 says, "The first to plead his case seems right, until another comes and examines him." Now, most people form an opinion about something very quickly. You probably have heard the old adage that you never have a second chance to make a first impression. I had a professor in college who tagged people the first time he saw or spoke with them. He told me one day in class that I was a C student, so I shouldn't expect to get a higher grade from him. This attitude lasted until my senior year when something changed. I've never quite figured out what it was that happened, but he recommended that the school hire me as the dean of men upon my graduation. The following quote is taken from Forbes.com, June 19, 2019. Quote, "Within the first 7 seconds of the meeting, people will have a solid impression of who you are. And some research suggests that 1/10 of a second is all it takes to start determining traits like trustworthiness." Close quote. Now, can you imagine forming an opinion of someone in 7 seconds and only taking 1/10 of a second to start determining trustworthiness? If the article from which the quote came from is accurate, we as Christians and humans as a whole have a significant amount of work to do. Now, I have a friend who is a lawyer, and I asked him how often he deferred his opening argument until the prosecutor or complainant rested. His response was about 50-50 and is often more intuitive than anything else. It is based on the strength of the opponent's argument. That information can only be known by looking at all the facts. Now, I'm a fan of the television program entitled Bull, and if you haven't seen it, it's a story about a psychologist who helps lawyers choose their juries and develop their defensive arguments. Now, I don't know how accurate the portrayals are, but it's fun to watch the story develop and how people's prejudices and thought processes go into choosing a possible jury panel which will vote their way. But no matter what the storyline is, the defense is losing every time the prosecutor rests his or her case, and in the storyline, the jury's opinion changes during the defense's argument of the case. Now, how important is it for us as Christians to listen to all sides of a theological argument? Take, for example, the argument many Protestant Christians have about when Christianity changed from being lost to becoming what we have today. Many Protestants will point to 1517 when Martin Luther nailed his 95 Theses on the Wittenberg doors. Unfortunately, this kind of thinking will completely disregard 15 centuries of Christianity from which Luther drew his opinions and the large influence of the Eastern Orthodox and Roman churches have had on Protestant Christianity. Our doctrine of Christ, salvation, end times, etc., all come from those two bodies of 1,500 years of theological writing. Because it is important to hear all sides, don't jump to conclusions about a subject or person. You may be wrong. Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.